بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف خلق الله أجمعين، سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hello everybody, good evening. Do you hear me well, please? عليكم السلام حاتم وعليكم السلام محمد. Okay, welcome to new Blackboard Collaborating Ultra. I hope this Blackboards have a new feature and be most beneficial for you, and to utilize this Blackboard in order to understand this microbiology in good manner, inshallah. Does anyone have any problem or technical issue that cannot lead him to understand or to deal with this Blackboard Collaboration Ultra? Okay, if there is no any technical problem or technical issue, I would like to remind you and recommend you to one more thing's importance, such as attendance. Right now, attendance for attendee, such as you, this process now automatically done by this Blackboard collaboration Ultra. So I would like to pay attention for this process and to attend, to be in safe side and avoid any absence in your semesters. One more thing, the system, it is recognized any attendee started on time. So after 5 minutes up to 20 minutes, that is recognize the attendee as later if he is joined after 5 minutes until 20 minutes. Unfortunately, after 20 minutes from the beginning or starting the sessions, if someone not enter until 20 minutes run or went, that is mean absence from whole the class. So I would like to encourage you to come on time early as much as you can to avoid this absence or to avoid these restrictions regarding this attendance. This is regarding the attendance. Let us now to talk about our session today. Our session today, it is have 2 chapters. That is mean our class today, it is very too much, have too much information. I hope you to be patient. Also, unfortunately, yes, that is what I mean. Unfortunately, the coordinator of this course, he said chapter 8 and chapter 9, it is included in the midterm exam, which is crazy situations. But don't worry, I will try to make it simple for you and to make summarize and or in order to focus on main point in these sessions, because these sessions have 2 subjects such as the meat and meat product is in chapter 8, and have milk and milk product also in chapter 9, all of them in midterm exam. So yeah, exactly. But inshallah, pay patience and don't worry about that too much information. Just focus on the most important things. Let me share some. He said, "Don't worry, Rahman. It's okay, brother. Inshallah. I wish you all the best." Let me share some important information. Dr. Mir, he sent for us. Do you see this here? This is the midterm topics. It's clear, okay. Have midterm. The topic of the midterm examinations are all in the chapters in the blackboard and covered till week 7. But week 7 have include this here. Chapter 1 it is regarding to the scope of public health. Chapter 2 it is microbial nutrition and growth of metabolism. And importance of water in chapter 2. Chapter 4 it is waterborne disease, and chapter 5 wastewater treatments. Chapter 6 is a case study on water and wastewater. This chapter inshallah on week 7 have food. Oh, sorry, that is previous lectures. On this week have meat production and dairy and dairy production as the last chapters in chapter 9. As you know, we have two text books. That is more social. We need to show it for you. Now let us come back to our lectures. In brief, inshallah, I will try to help you. Okay, this chapter 8, meat and meat productions. Now let us to have a look on the learning outcomes, because two chapters, chapter 8 and chapter 9, have one learning outcomes, such as we need to identify the pathogens that are associated with the try to make it basic. Basic document. Thank you. Okay, inshallah, Abdurrahman. I'm here for you, inshallah. I will try to help you as soon as I can. Okay, now let us to start. We need also to list the principle of safe butchering of animals and storage of meat products. Identify the major factor in meat spoilage and include the bacteria concentrations. As well, explain the process of sausage manufacturing and what can go wrong. This is just an example of meat production, the sausage. Other chapters in chapters 9, we need to describe the need of pasteurization. These most important things, inshallah, we will make more highlighting, and we need to stress on this technique, because this is one technique used in general and in daily life for as a preservations and sterilizations of food. Welcome, Mohsen. And it is history. Identify the typical pathogen associated with the dairy products and disease they cause. Describes the process of pasteurizations, including the theory behind it, which is also very important for you, inshallah. Finally, we need to explain how error in the pasteurization process are commonly occur and made, and how the process is monitored. Have a look on the meat. As you know, meat as a mouth cells joined in the carcass or inside the animal or cattle. So the muscle tissues are for animal, and this is the type of animals, not important to mention. You have read it by yourself. And other part of animal can be consumed by, but are less commonly used. Uh, General principle that meat can play an important media to make it as an enriched media to multiplication of the microorganism on it, and speed from the test to processing to refrigerations. This is such as I said, in food chain, when that animal are live before mortem, that is can be carry some diseases if it is escape from antemortem and postmortem, that still the microorganism and disease beside that meat. And when that meat processed and cut it in size slaughterhouse and then distributed through the market or wholesale or market sale retail, and then finally consumed by the consumer at the home. This process long uh, uh, food chain, but it is have so many points regard as a potential for hazard and make it some spoilage or contamination. Slaughter is performed as septically as possible, but some problem, as I said, can occur and arise on this is slaughterhouse. And this don't use stick cattle if it is have some disease or contaminated with some pathogen. Don't stress it cattle, because when you stress it and make that cattle are exhausted and feel tired, that mean most be potential to be appear or potential to be infected with some disease, and that type of meat have a low quality and can spoil it as soon as it is slaughtered or distributed. And starve cattle for 24 hours prior to slaughter in order to make the evacuations or abdominal is empty from the food, and that also water amount inside the animals can control the amount of blood and make that blood all can run out outside the body of the animal. Yes, here in the slaughters, uh, please here uh, have a look on which is important point in the slaughter may be play the potential source of contaminations. This is also a question in the quiz in this week. I hope it to focus and pay attention for this one. Slaughters must remove hoof and hides, because this is the most common source of contamination inside the slaughterhouse. So in the any slaughterhouse, firstly remove the hoof and hides، الحوافر والجلد أو شعر الوبر الموجود حوالين جسم الذبيحة. Remove viscera, intestines. Remove lymph nodes, because also it is involved and contains so many type of microorganism, because it play an like an filter to filtration most of microorganism inside the lymphatic system or lymph fluid inside the body. And most contaminant come from the height, as I said. Meat surface can have 10 power 2 up to 10 power 5 in each square centimeter. and spoiling occur at this amount of microbial content or load inside the meat by measuring by like diameter or the space like square centimeter. Every square centimeter, if it is have more than 10 power 7 coloniform unit cells in that is meat, that is mean spoiling will occur and lead to make some disease. Well, here other animal like swine or skin is scalded through the only disinfections and hot not sterilizations. Other type of meat like poultry, feathers must be removed. As I said, the الريش أو الشعر أيضا هذا يلعب دور كبير جدا في مصدر من مصادر التلوث. لذلك must be removed from this poultry at the slaughter, the first step of the slaughter process. Fish, external contamination is unavailable because fish sometimes can carry some contaminant as a toxin or chemical materials inside the fish. And the cold storage is essential once the animals die to avoid the spoiling and to stop and inhibit the microbial growth inside the meat or the meat of fish. Washing solution will become contaminated, require disinfection, especially when you prepare the meat inside the kitchen or as a handling or handler, food handler stations. When he use sometimes tap water or another type of water, this water is not sterile and clean at all. So must use some disinfectant to clean the surface or outer membrane or outer surface of the meat, especially fish, because these have a high potentiality to occur these spoilage or contaminations. This table have contained mold species associated with the meat. Let me increase size for you. And also I would like just to mention the most important genus such as Spiralis or Mucor and just as a general information. So that is why just I want to mention some like rhizobius is important mold associated with the meat, and the other is not important. So let us to skip this slide or okay. Thank you, Abdurrahman, for interaction and for feedback. Don't use a stick cattle. Why? Because some most bacteria can infect the stick cattle meat, such as Procella, Salmonella. Procella lead to make melitensis or abortions or some another type of foodborne disease. Salmonella lead to make typhoid. Streptococcus make some septicemia. Mycobacterium lead to make tuberculosis or TB. Campylobacter infection inside the intestine. Clostridium also poisoning, food poisoning. Cyclophilic spoiling microbes is not important, but mold, as I said, like rhizobius in the previous slide in the table, it is make some spoiling in the meat. Don't stress the cattle. Why? After the death, glycoside stop and lactic acid increase the pH. This is the technical information. It is also not most important, but if you need to understand why we don't need to stress and make that animal exhaust or feel tired, because we don't need the animal to consume or consume all glycoside. It is conserved and returned inside the muscle. Because when it is exhausted or run out this glycoside, the lactic acid increase and pH it is decreased. When pH it is decreased, that is can be most have a high potentiality to infect by the microorganism and to contaminate that type of meat. There's a philosophy beyond don't stress the cattle, okay? Uh, these another interpretations of don't stress. If glycogen is depleted, no lactic acid, the build up and pH is high, and dark firm or dark dry meats to avoid to avoid the contamination or spoilage of the food. These steps after slaughter. Flash freezing will kill parasitic swarm, such as, for example, trichinella. So in each slaughter have a big unit of freezing, have a big freezer to uh, keep the food under zero temperatures from 0 up to 20 or 18 minus 18 below 0. That is the range can keep the meat without any spoiling. UV light also can hold down bacteria growth or microbial load in cold storage. Another preservative material such as the sodium nitrate added as a preservative materials. Some meats are canned. These after processing to also keep it sterile and to avoid any spoilage or contamination. Sometimes meat is aged in order to tenderize it, such as mold growth, greening, to bacillus or phosphocenics like photobacterium. This is not important. Let us to skip it also. This is also not important. This here example of some type of microbial or pathogens may existence and occur on spoiling of meat or contamination of the meat, like Clostridium jejuni or Clostridium coli, especially dangerous for neonates. A very common gastroenteritis is a disease or caused by this Campylobacter, found in many types of food and including dairy or dairy product, unusual growth for requirement. Another type of Listeria monocytogenes. Just here, look for the example. When you keep one or two examples, it is quite enough. Which the most bacteria can infect or spoil it or make contamination for meat. If you say Listeria or Campylobacter or Yersinia, that is quite enough. Salmonella is most. Here I would like to recommend you, as in this quiz, we have questions regarding this salmonella also. Salmonella typhus causes typhoid fever, which is now rare. This is not important, but yes, here link it to chickens and eggs, because the egg here are play the most sources to spread salmonella, any type of salmonella. So you have to pay attention and pay more attention for salmonella and correlate it with the meat and meat product, because the chicken here in KSA or worldwide, it is most type of poultry meat, and egg also as a other product from chickens or correlated with the chickens. That's why salmonella are the most source can predominant or spread through these two type of meats or as food as general. Can form chronic infection in the chicken oviduct. These anatomical characteristics. Eggs, salmonella is the only pathogen of occur and concern related to the eggs, yet a big concern in the poultry industry and spread easily because, as we said, salmonella infects the oval duct of the chickens, and salmonella enterocoletica is probably very common. Yes, is very important. This is common, very and reported in the source of salmonella enterocoletica. This, if you want to understand how to sterile fish or egg shell of egg, can use some bactericides or disinfectants or detergent materials to avoid the contamination or lysozyme or avidine pine biotines for eggshell egg or for edible egg. Another type of E. coli correlated with meat or meat product is here. There's so many stereotypes on E. coli. Don't worry about this huge informations. Just keep in mind E. coli as example. It is occur on or appear for food, especially meat and meat product. Toxoplasma gondii, another type of parasite. Vibrio, as you know, Vibrio cholerae, also correlated with meat and meat product because it's coming from contact water as a waterborne disease, and growing brackish water and existent in shellfish or seafood as general. Trichinella is another type of causative agent of trichinosis or parasitic infections. Keep it in mind as a parasitic infections. Besides another type of microbial such as a bacteria. This figure shows oocyst. This is the infective stage of this trichinella. Generally are spread from contaminated meat with these parasites. Prime disease, this is not important. This, as you said, or like encephalitis disease in the brain of cow, أو ما يسمى بجنون البقر, downer cow. Sausage productions is a technical information for fermentation of meat by lactic acid bacteria, and then added salt. This is technical information, not important, but here we need to look for the goal of 5 log reductions of pathogen, usually advised. The type of sausage like dry sausage or semi-dry or summer sausage. Now here let us to looking for another second part of dairy or dairy product. Do you have any questions here for milk or milk products? Hello, guys. All of you with me? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Abdurrahman. Now let us to. Okay, clear. Thank you. Let us to have a look for another part. Sultan, I think you came late. I discussed this point with your classmate. Okay, now let us to have a look. Sultan, inshallah, I will promise to, if we have time, I will repeat it for you. But if we don't have time, please ask your classmate. They can recognize and clarify this point for you. Okay, Sultan, don't worry. I will try to explain for you another. This is in chapter 9 and chapter 8 included in the midterm exam. So I hope it to revise it, inshallah, because all the materials in the week 7 it is included in the midterm exam. I know it is very troubling for you, and that is crazy situations, but inshallah, don't worry, inshallah, you are succeed, and inshallah, I wish you all the best, inshallah, in the exam. Okay, let us to continue. Regarding dairy, chapter 9, dairy and dairy products. Also, I will try to explain for you the most important things related to the dairy. These dairy and dairy product, or milk and milk product, because dairy or milk are as synonym. Cream, sour cream, whipped cream, butter cheese, cream cheese, cottage cheese, and yogurt, ice cream. Those all are the milk product. And these figures show the previous of public health laboratory was monitoring milk for pathogens earlier, since around couple of decades ago. That is reveal the most important issue regarding monitoring and control of milking and milk process. Milk does not arrive sterile, but subhanallah, when it is come out from odor, it is almost or 99% is coming sterile, but as coming out and dealing with the environment outside the odor, so here the capable of pathogen or contamination may occur by so many type of bacteria or parasite or mold, such as streptococcus, lactobacillus, chromobacterium, pseudomonas aeruginosa, flavobacterium, bacillus yeast. Is most common bacteria may occur on dairy or milk. This image showing milking time for cows, and here this dairy worker, it is cleaning cow odor to avoid any contamination or to avoid any bacteria can existing outside the odor. Here this is automatic milking machine. All of that is general information here. This also the most important bacteria. Milking may contain pathogens such as Procella. I have discussed it with you in some classes, making الحمى المالطية or undulant fever, Malta fever. And another type of mycobacteria may occur on the dairy and lead to milk disease, such as Mycobacterium tuberculosis, lead to make السل أو الدرن الرئوي. Another type, such as beta hemolytic streptococcus, that is not most important. Just focus on Procella and Mycobacterium. Q fever caused by Coxiella burnetii, also it is generally correlated with milk. Yes, this most important, how to say, process, we need to understand it regarding the milk. Please pay attention on the pasteurizations. It is invented by Louis Pasteur, and his major target with the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It is invented and targeted for eliminate this bacteria, because it is leading to make tuberculosis, as I said, and generally found in the milk or milk product. Can infect any organ called extrapulmonary tuberculosis أو السر الانتشاري خارج الرئة, and a significant cause of death at the time. So that is very, very, very dangerous bacteria called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Sometimes boiling the milk would kill this two type of microbial or such as Procella, as I said, and Mycobacterium tuberculosis. But so many preferable consumer not wanted to boil that milk, because they said the texture or tasty of milk it is lost by boiling or by this process. A trade between time and temperature, that is temperature and time, that is correlated with pasteurization. So pasteurization, it is a relationship between time and temperature. We will try to know what is the suitable time and what is the temperature used in pasteurization. So here is also important, the pasteurization's goal. What is the goal of pasteurizations? Eliminate pathogens, the first one. Reduce the total number of bacterial load. Second one, improve shelf life of product to be for more a long time. When you went or when you go to a supermarket right now, you have seen so many type of milk or milk product, since protected from 1 hour up to 2 weeks. It is in the shelf of the supermarket or at the house. So when we need to increase the time of that product can be safe, this is by doing this pasteurization process. So the goal, it is improve and increase the shelf life of product. Inactivate some enzymes that create funny taste or spoily taste, another goal of pasteurizations, without harming the taste or food value of the product. That is why it keeps the taste or keeping the value of food as a milk as it is real value or real component. Use more than you think. The pasteurization used in so many type of food, such as milk, wine, and beer. Use it also for sterilize and dealing with the fruits or juices like cider. Also sterilizing the honey, egg, and egg product to eliminate the salmonella, as we said. It is so many related with the egg or poultry meat or egg product. And foraging also can sterilize by pasteurizations. Here is pasteurization conditions. Yes, please pay attention for the kind of pasteurizations. It is very important also. The general or classic, this is number 1. It is between 62.8. It is used for 13 minutes. or half an hour. The second type of pasteurization, it is called HTST. This is abbreviation for high temperature and short time, used 72. When you compare, it is a little bit hot than 62 classic, but here have a few time only for 15 seconds, and here is for long time like 30 minutes. Please recognize the difference. And the third one, which is the best and modern technique, right now use it in so many plant or factory, you call UHT, ultra high temperature, that is use ultra heat like 130 degrees centigrade for only 1 second. So that is a perfect and the most effective kind of pasteurizations. Okay, please keep in mind these three types of pasteurization. This not important, or let us to skip it because it is confused for that is more detailed by like doing equation or mathematic process to calculate how can we use temperature and how to increase how to increase temperature besides eliminating the volume of bacteria and so on. So let us to skip these steps. Also, these figures show the temperature between time and temperature and thermal dust time. Just we can read the thermal dust time TDT for to eliminate the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. According to this data, the same degree of killing can be obtained in 27 seconds at 64 degrees centigrade with 3 seconds at yes, that reveals the different type of pasteurization to kill this microbe, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Graph showing this also correlation between bacterial count and temperatures. But to skip it also, this is not important. Different components have different conditions, like bacteria, enzyme. The enzyme usually destroyed with the temperature, so that is we need to use a lower temperature when we need to keep the enzyme as a natural or original instructions. Pigments or vitamins also, it is very sensitive to temperatures, so we need to arrange the conditions to preserve all of the vitamins or enzymes, like but we need also to focus on this to kill these bacteria. Generally we use this pasteurization patch called autoclave to sterile so many type of dairy or dairy product. After processing, milk is chilled and kept cold. Shelf life goes from days up to weeks or 2 weeks, and work remarkably well at the eliminating pathogens such as Procella and Mycobacterium. This is a fermentation process used by some using microorganisms such as Streptococcus and lactic acid procedures. Fermentation, but as I said, by using lactic acid. It is important. We need to know what is the kind of bacteria that can ferment it and produce fermentations in order to use it as a starter for fermented or for dairy products such as the yogurt, such as the tea and cheese and so on, to understand the principle and the concept of philosophy to how to create cheese or yogurt by using microbes. This how to say, it is a useful microorganism, not harmful microorganism. Lactic acid, use it in the so many plant or factory to produce cheese and yogurt, but we need to in the suitable dose and in the suitable and sterile conditions. Antibiotic use. Dairy cattle are prone to of mastitis. This now it is very headache and big concern for scientists, because when that dairy cattle, cows, or any type of animal, kind of animal that can have ill or have illness, so many veterinarian or workers they giving antibiotic, and that can increase problem of antibiotic susceptibility and multi-drug resistance for microbial and so on. So dairy cattle are warned for mastitis, is a kind of disease. Perhaps 40% of antibiotic use in the cattle for beef and dairy. Antibiotics can get passed into the milk, unfortunately, so that is a dangerous. Maybe human can consume that is milk contaminated with this antibiotic. Regularly limit of amount of antibiotic in the final product, and a big concern over antibiotic resistance can occur like this problem. Procella lead to make the undulant fever, especially abortus for militenses or Swiss or Canis. Low infection dose and few clinical cases appear. Vaccinations of cattle now it is available to avoid this kind of disease. This is another important bacteria, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, the causative agent of TB, and gastrointestinal illness also as pulmonary tuberculosis instead of pulmonary illness. Acid-fast microbes, another characteristics of this microbacterium. TB can infect cow as well as and occasionally seen unpasteurized product. So that is why I recommend you and another consumer don't consume any unpasteurized or uncooked meat or unpasteurized milk unless you make sure that this milk is sterile and free from any kind of microorganism or any kind of bacteria. Mark this Mycobacterium avian complex. Skip it is not important. Coxiella is also it is correlated with milk and milk product, can cause acute fever, low infectious dose and environmental resistance. Overall, like these fatal rates, very few, from 1 to 2%, possibly biowarfare agents. That is all our class today. I hope it to be most useful for you. Inshallah, if you have any questions or any clarifications, I will clarify and details for you as you need, inshallah, and I will be with you from now up to face-to-face class and near to exam. If you need any formations or any things, I will be happy, inshallah. Yes, next Wednesday, inshallah, we have a class. I will repeat all of that two chapters, meat product and dairy and dairy product for one who need to this detailed informations. I know you have exams this Thursday and there is limited of time, not enough time, but I will try my best to come to. If someone need to come, I will make this class for them, and if you need revise, I will make revision for you, inshallah. Okay, if you have enough time, we can make general revision, inshallah. Okay. Okay, inshallah. وإياك إن شاء الله. يعطيك العافية يا شيخ الحزمي. Okay, thank you all of you. Have a nice night, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, take your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.